Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Henry, and this is Conservative Commentary. Hillary Clinton just declared Trump supporters are Nazis. You heard me right. Let me tell you, Hillary, I'm no Nazi, and neither are President Trump's supporters. But before we begin, I'd like to ask you for a favor. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This really helps us grow the channel and get the message out. Also, please go to youtube.com/@KennethJHenry and check out our other videos. The Democrats are apparently so deeply frantic that they have resorted to putting out a hit on President Trump. Since they believe they can't beat Trump at the polls, the Democrats are sending a dog whistle out to potential assassins. Maybe they think this is the only way they can win. Harris and crew are taken to calling Trump a threat to democracy and a fascist. They trot out John Kelly, who compared Trump to Hitler and called him a fascist. Joe Biden called for Trump to be locked up. Now Hillary is joining the fray. Hillary declared that the Trump rally in New York at Madison Square Garden is the equivalent of the 1939 German-American Bund rally. This is utter nonsense. The 1939 rally by the German-American Bund was an organized attempt to promote Nazi ideology within the United States. The event glorified Adolf Hitler, showcased Nazi symbols, and directly supported Germany's regime, which was then preparing for and eventually engaged in massive human rights abuses and genocide. Trump's platform may be controversial and perhaps polarizing to some, but it does not align with the tenets of Nazism, which involved racial purity, anti-Semitism, and the systematic removal of political opposition through violence. Trump supporters rally around issues such as economics, nationalism, immigration control, and law enforcement, rather than ethnic or racial superiority. These are distinct from the genocidal rhetoric of Nazi Germany. The Bund's 1939 rally was specifically intended to promote a foreign totalitarian ideology in the United States, positioning itself as an active supporter of Hitler's regime. This aim was not merely political rhetoric or nationalist sentiment, but rather the spread of Nazism on American soil. Trump's rally, by contrast, is an extension of his political campaign strategy and aimed to engage supporters on mainstream conservative issues. Labeling Trump's supporters as neo-Nazis ignores the fact that their support is generally rooted in domestic policy concerns rather than foreign authoritarianism. Trump's base includes a wide variety of Americans, different races, religions, and socioeconomic backgrounds. To characterize Trump's supporters as neo-Nazis or racists is an overgeneralization that disregards this diversity. Trump supporters do not share any affiliation with extreme ideologies, but instead prioritize concerns like jobs, inflation, and foreign policy. Clinton's broad characterization doesn't account for these distinctions and dismisses legitimate policy concerns held by many Americans who support Trump without endorsing any form of extremism. Equating Trump's rally with the 1939 Nazi rally should alienate mainstream voters by painting half the electorate as extremists. It can further deepen the divisions rather than encourage constructive political debate. Hyperbolic comparisons often undermine legitimate criticism by associating it with a narrative of moral panic, rather than focusing on specific policies or actions. Rhetoric that characterizes political opposition as inherently evil or neo-Nazi has the potential to escalate tensions rather than foster understanding or resolution, which could be counterproductive to a healthy democracy. Trump's administration demonstrated strong support for Israel, a position that contrasts starkly with Nazi ideology. He relocated the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, brokered the Abraham Accords, and maintained positive relations with Jewish communities both domestically and internationally. These actions are incongruent with the goals of Nazi ideology, which espoused virulent anti-Semitism. While Trump's political approach is often combative, Equating it with Nazism overlooks these elements of his administration's record, illustrating that the comparison is a flailing attempt by a failing campaign to somehow stop the Trump campaign. Analogies to Nazism are often criticized for being overused and for diminishing the unique horrors of that historical period. The term Nazi has specific historical connotations, including systematic genocide, totalitarianism, and mass violence. Broadly applying it to domestic political events may unintentionally dilute the understanding of Nazi atrocities and undermine genuine historical education. Critics often argue that these comparisons trivialize the unique evil of Nazi Germany, which involved state-led genocide and suppression of human rights on an unprecedented scale, something vastly different from contemporary American political rallies. Hillary Clinton's comparison of Trump's rally to a Nazi rally from 1939 is total BS, coming from a person who still denies that Trump won the 2016 presidential election. This kind of language contributes to more division, which is what Hillary and the desperate Democrats hope will somehow help the Harris campaign. Or perhaps they want to encourage another assassin. It won't work. Look at this clip of Clinton, and please share your thoughts in the comments.
And, you know, one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it. Now, it may be a leap for some people, and a lot of others may think, I don't want to go there. I don't want to say that. But please, open your eyes to the danger that this man poses to our country, because I think it is clear and present for anybody paying attention.